Hey y'all, welcome back to Honest to Goodness, where we give you guys our honest opinions on good entertainment. I'm Morgan, and this is my co-host Kerri. And tonight we will be talking about a very special Christmas movie. Well, I guess two-part episode
Yep.
of When Hope Calls. If you're not familiar with that show, it is the spinoff show of When Calls the Heart, which is on Hallmark. It's starring Morgan Cohen and I cannot say his name, but RJ. I don't want to butcher it, so
I don't know. I am like terrible with pronunciations. Okay, like do not ask me.
I'm absolutely awful at it. But a part of the new someone who has been, well, I guess newly casted for the show is our sweet, loving, beautiful, gorgeous, incredible actress, Laurie Lachlan.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
She is back as her and just as beautiful, just as wonderful character, Abigail Stanton from the show When Calls the Heart.
Yes.
She is also bringing along her son, Cody, who is played by Carter Ryan, who is just as sweet and has gotten so big.
Right?
Like, he's so tall. He's definitely taller than Robert, if not the same height.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just as sweet as he was whenever he was a little tiny kid running around on set. And yeah, of course, all the adorable little kids. And yeah, another special guest that appeared on the show is our wonderful, incredible, loving Mountie, Daniel Lissing, coming back as Jack Thornton.
That scene was like the most precious. I did not realize it could help my heart that much. Like seriously, y'all, before these two episodes premiered, I called Morgan on FaceTime and I'm like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like legit, I told her I'm scared. I'm like
we're definitely suffering from I told her, I said, we're suffering from PTSD from being traumatized by season 8 of When Calls the Heart.
Absolutely.
Because like there was the suspense again of like, you know, like is it a dream? Is it a flashback? Is it like, is he actually coming back? Like that whole suspense reminded me so much of like, who is she gonna pick? Is it Nathan? Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Nathan. Well, once again, our predictions were wrong. I am not quitting my day job anytime soon.
Hey, our predictions might be wrong, but they are pretty darn good.
Okay, they are too.
We come up with some great storylines.
Hallmark, that's all we're saying. Hallmark, GAC, whichever one. Who cares? I don't care. Just like hire us.
GAC, definitely. GAC, I'm not going to work for Hallmark.
We're not going to go into
that. That is another can of worms.
We're not going to go into that. Okay. Okay. Oh, so, starting off, we obviously see, I actually missed the first part of the episode.
What?
Yeah. So, my phone glitched out. Of course, I'm serious. I'm seriously the only one that ever has like major like technical difficulties. Every once in a blue moon, Kerri has his technical difficulties, but it's usually me. And sure enough, like I don't know what it was, but like my phone just glitched out and like went blank, and it didn't show up until one of the kids said that they missed Chuck and Grace. Mm-hmm. That's when they cut off, and then they of course started the the title role, like where they were like kind of like introducing each doing like the
I think all
intro.
you missed, and this is bad, I literally just watched this and I don't remember because, well, it's because of these like major plot points that you kind of
they're
forget
all right here, and everything else is in the back of your head, and you're not gonna get to it. Yeah.
But I think all you missed was Lillian and the kids, like in the store or something, and one of the boys is asking her if Santa will bring him Lincoln Logs for Christmas. And she's like, well, let's just see what Santa brings, you know. And then they're walking down the street, and they have the one bicycle, and they're walking down the street, and one of the kids accidentally runs into Tess. Is her last name Stewart?
Yes.
Yes, Stewart. Okay, I don't know why that never sticks in my head. But one of the kids accidentally runs into Tess Stewart, who of course is grouchy and telling them to watch where they're going, you know, whatever. And so she walks off, and of course Lillian's kind of sad, and one of the kids was like, it's not like we don't miss Chuck and Grace too. And
right.
Like, I know, you know. So I think that would have been the point that you picked up.
Even though technically Tess doesn't miss Grace, she just missed Chuck.
Yeah.
I noticed that she not once acknowledged the fact that Grace is now her daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Or even
she was even like, we are not family.
Yeah. So I feel like she's definitely like the Gowan of When Calls the Heart.
Or When Hope Calls.
Calls. I feel like
I don't think it's so much that Tess has a problem with Grace. I don't think she truly does. I think it's just that this is her baby. This is her boy.
It's not necessarily typical like mother-in-law behavior, but under the circumstances, I guess it is. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't be too happy if my brother just left and moved to a whole entire different country.
Yeah.
With his new life.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, he went after Grace, left her and the family business, I guess, and went after her when she was never even supposed to leave and stay gone.
Right.
You know, I can understand the circumstances, but at the same time, you know, they had to follow their hearts.
Right.
So,
and for anybody that doesn't know what we're referring to, Chuck and Grace from season 1 of When Hope Calls. First of all, can we just say they were the best part of that season?
They were.
Everybody loved them. Jocelyn Hudden plays Grace, and Greg, whatever his last name is, because I don't know, please.
I can't pronounce it. It's kind of long. So I don't want to butcher it. I'd rather not say it than butcher it.
Yeah, so. But scheduling conflicts. They could not be in the season 2 Christmas movie. I don't know if they're going to come back to the show at all. They kind of left it where it makes sense either way.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be in season 2. They do have it open. So just in case anybody doesn't understand what we're saying, they're married and now living in England.
Yes.
So season 1 stops where Grace ends up taking one of the little orphaned girls that was living in their orphanage to go be reunited with her grandparents. I think specifically her grandpa, who lives in England. Obviously, back in those days, you couldn't fly. They didn't do that kind of stuff really. I don't think at all. If I feel like if they did do planes, you had to be very rich to be able to have access to that.
Right.
So she got on a boat and she went to England and brought this little girl there. Well, I guess because it is a long journey, I think it takes a couple of months for a boat to get from the US to England. I have a feeling Chuck was just going stir crazy. He's like, I can't do this. I am definitely not made for a long distance relationship. And he got on a boat and went to England.
And married the girl.
He's like, I'm gonna marry.
And if you're gonna go that far, you might as well go all the way.
Yeah, you might as well go all the way. Exactly.
I love it though. At least they gave us that. They gave us
at least they gave us that. As much as I would love to have seen it, it's still just knowing that they're out there and they're married and they're happy is good enough for me.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they have kind of left it to where they did say that Grace is got her own orphanage in England.
Yeah.
So at least she's still doing what she feels and loves. Going out there helping children like her who never really got to be able to have a home. To have a home. I do hope they come back though. I really do.
I know.
It was just like
They
the
were
sister
so
dynamic.
precious.
And then obviously seeing them being all in love and everything. And I want a wedding. I want them to come back and like do a wedding so that way Lillian can be like her maid of honor and like, you know, have all the little kids in the wedding and do the whole big hoopla of it all.
I doubt we would get that, but then again, like we said, none of our predictions have been right.
So we're just throwing them out there to you guys to put into the world. So if you guys write stories or whatever, make it happen. But so of course Tess does not take this well. Right. She kind of becomes the Grinch or the Scrooge in this story.
I would say she was the Grinch and Ronnie was the Scrooge.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she was the Grinch and he was definitely the Scrooge. Yeah. No, because the Scrooge really was the one that was trying to get everyone to work on, like he didn't like Christmas at all. He didn't understand why people wanted their like days off from work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's not that part's not important.
That's not the best part of this.
We're trying to not rabbit trail as much as we normally do.
Okay. So anyways, Tessa is very upset, doesn't really like she's trying to get her cattle and everything fixed up. They're like making good time. It wasn't a harsh winter. So she's trying to get everything ready for what's like the next season and whatever. But there's a few of her employees are like, I thought we were going to have Christmas off because I've already made plans with my family. And like one of the employees' dad was recently really, really very sick. They didn't think he was going to make it. So he was like, I want to spend as much time with him just in case it does happen. And he does pass away. Tess obviously was like, I'm not having that. You guys are like, I need workers. We need to get this through. Well, they quit.
Anybody else think we're going to see a Lucy and Hank pairing at some point during season 2? I mean, they were so cute. They really were. Cute. They were very I was cute. Expecting him to invite her to Christmas.
Me too. I was expecting him to like invite her. Yeah. So I know I was telling you guys that we usually have technical difficulties. Well, my computer is dying. So I'll be right back with my charger.
Oh my word. Okay.
Every time, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I had it all charged up. I guess my battery drained up quick.
Oh my word. But yeah, I did not honestly realize how much I needed this movie and the scenes that we got. It was like healing to my heart after When Calls the Heart season 8. Like we said, definitely our predictions, our thoughts that we had did not happen, but I loved the way they did handle it. Which I mean, to be fair, from the start, we were saying these are our predictions, these are our thoughts. We're not saying this is what's going to happen. And we did also say that what we thought might happen was like hinging on this or this happening. So, you know, I don't feel too bad about us being wrong because we did make all those disclaimers beforehand.
Yeah, I think the disclaimers definitely helped. I think, but I mean, we were just kind of holding out hope that it would fix things that we obviously didn't like that happened in season 8 that we will not get into.
Yeah. Speaking of What Calls the Heart, though, how good was it to see Abigail get off of that stagecoach? That was like the queen that was smacking my
queen has arrived, people. The queen has arrived.
I'm smacking my microphone by accident. Sorry if that made a noise.
Like the sweet little moment between Cody and Abigail while they looked at the tree and like mentioning his sister who we've not seen since the first season that they came on. which does kind of make me wonder, like, is she still in college? Is like, I kind of would like to know more about the sister. I don't necessarily see her, but like kind of get more of an update on where she is. Like, is she still in college? Has she found someone? Has she gotten married? Like, what is it? But that moment, and then like them hugging and everything, it was exactly what I feel like Abigail needed to hear.
Yes.
So I love that.
And speaking of Abigail, there was another really special little scene with her. Mailing that letter to a certain someone with whom she has been corresponding, apparently since she left Hope Valley.
Which we don't really know how long she's been gone from Hope Valley, but yeah. So, little Miss Abigail went to drop a certain letter to a certain gentleman who still lives in Hope Valley.
Whose
I got really country.
Whose initials might be HG.
Henry Gowan, people. She was sending a letter to Henry.
If you're listening to us, you cannot see how much we are geeking out right now, but we are like full on geeking out over this.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I honestly was not expecting that because like we don't know where it's at with the whole When Hope Calls universe, and like because like obviously they're in the same universe, but they're currently being ran on different platforms.
I feel like this is Marvel and DC trying to come
together. Yeah, it's crazy.
And how crazy is it that Tess knows? Like this threw me off.
That was probably a bigger bombshell than the fact that Jack came back, because it's like, how does she know Gowan?
Right.
And got like put profits into the coal mines.
Yes.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
I was like,
the look on Abigail's face when she was like, you must mean Henry Gowan. And she was like, yeah, that's him, whatever. And you can tell Tess doesn't have a good opinion of him. But you can see the look on Abigail's face. To me, you can see this look of, if you only knew how much he's changed. Mm-hmm. He's not the same. I think
at the same time, she also understands that he does have a reputation, and his reputation is going to follow him forever. Right. There's going to be some people who are going to let the past be past and move on and learn who Gowan is now. And then there's going to be other people who's going to be like, once a person does this, they will always be that person. Mm-hmm. Like the whole, once a cheater, always a cheater. Right. Once a gambler, always a gambler. Once a liar, always a liar. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing.
I wonder what Cody thinks, if he even knows.
Ooh, I do wonder if Cody knows. I mean, there's some things that kids, at his age, I kind of wonder if he even really cares.
Well, I mean, I would think he would, because this is his mom.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you know how when you're at some ages, like, just talking about romance is gross.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if he's at that age or not, because he's so tall. It makes him look like he's at, like, 16.
He probably would be about 15, 16. I would say at least. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the fact that Tess knows that, okay, kind of to get into something here with Abigail, kind of this whole leading up to Abigail getting into town, Lillian feels like she is in over her head because I think her name's Eleanor, that was helping them out at the orphanage in season 1, is not there. Like, she's gone somewhere for the holidays or something. So she is like struggling to keep the orphanage going on her own. Like, she's doing a good job, but she feels like, I can't do this by myself. So then when Abigail shows up, obviously Abigail being Abigail, Abigail is bringing a young orphan to the orphanage. That's the whole, that's the whole reason they came there. But obviously Abigail being who she is, she steps in and starts helping. Well, if y'all have listened to us very long, or if you have followed When Calls the Heart, or even just Hallmark, or know the Laurie Lachlan scandal, all this stuff, that Hallmark has gone out of their way to again say that Laurie Lachlan will never work for them again. So obviously GAC bringing her back as Abigail, if she is going to continue this role, which it appears that she is, because like she's in the credits, she's in the title credits.
Yeah,
title credits, not just credits at the end. She is like in the title credits.
Like they show a little like scene of her.
And like opening credits. Opening credits.
Yeah, opening credits. Yeah.
So I would guess
like the main cast. Now Carter isn't, but she is.
Right.
So
I would say it is very likely, but then again, all of our predictions have been wrong. So I'm just saying I think it is likely from these things. I would say it is likely. But it is likely.
He's at least staying for this season because it can obviously change for a season 3 if they get one. Right. That's one of those wait and see things, but she's definitely going to be in season 2.
Yeah. But that Lillian needing help, just various things that are kind of, I think, leading Abigail to stay because she can't go back to Hope Valley. Abigail cannot go back to Hope Valley, at least not on screen, because Hallmark has said she will never work for them again unless GAC picks up When Calls the Heart, which at this point I doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the reason I doubt it is because if you all watched or listened to our episode called The Daniel Scandal, we knew Daniel Liston was coming back as Jack, and with GAC picking up When Hope Calls, we wondered and bringing Daniel in, we wondered if they were possibly going to be picking up the rights to When Calls the Heart from Hallmark and bringing Jack back, like for real. That was not the case in this. And, we gave all of our predictions, and we even, we said it could be this or it could be this. Like we said, it could be a dream. But why would Abigail be dreaming about Jack? But the way they handled it, they did it in such a way that led me anyway to believe, and y'all let me know if you've watched this, let us know in the comments what you thought, that it led me to believe this was a confirmation for Abigail, because like Jack said, like 2 or 3 times at least about what a beautiful town this was, and whatever, like commenting about Brookfield.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a confirmation to Abigail that this is where she is meant to start her new life.
Yeah.
That's just how I took it.
Also kind of helped her with everything that was going on. Like, for instance, all the Gowan mentions, and then, of course, what was going on with Roy and the fact that he was missing his parents who passed away.
Right.
And that whole grief process. I think kind of just followed her throughout the second part of the story. And helped her to be able to give her awesome, typical Abigail Stanton advice to try and help. I hope we continue to see more of that because I love that side of her. Obviously, we would have loved nothing more for Daniel to be back.
Right.
Back. Yeah, like back. Didn't die, none of that. But I'm also kind of glad that we got this because he talked about how proud he was of Elizabeth, especially with how she was parenting baby Jack. So to know, even if it's just in Abigail's subconscious, he knows about little Jack. And yeah, I think that he would be proud of her.
That scene was a scene that none of us knew we needed, but we needed it. Yeah. It was so healing. Yes. I don't even remember the exact whole conversation, but I remember he asked Abigail if she could get a message to Elizabeth for him. And she was like, absolutely. And he tells her
said that he was okay and that he was happy and proud of her, that she was moving on, and that she was doing so well with parenting little Jack, and he
was proud of both of them.
Proud of both of them. Yeah.
And when he said true love never dies, I know that now more than ever. I was like, oh my gosh, like this scene, y'all, I kid you not, if you have not seen this, you need to. For anyone out there, even if you don't watch season 9 of When Calls the Heart, we are not going to fault you for that, but
fault here at all.
if you, even if you are not going to watch that, I would 100% recommend going and watching this. I'm sure it'll be released somehow or another, just of this clip, but you need to see it because it is going to do your heart so much good. But
I know that some people are already kind of not taking it real well, obviously, just because of the whole Elizabeth and Lucas thing. I get it. We all wanted to be, we were all those that were Team Nathan. We wanted her to be back with a Mountie and all of that. I'm glad that they didn't have Jack bring any of that up or even mention Lucas, because I felt like that would have taken away from what he was feeling and what needed to be said, which that it's about Elizabeth moving on and building her life the way that she desires to build it. And if it's not with another Mountie, if it is with Lucas, then I'm just glad that, you know, she's happy and that she is moving on. Obviously, the outside stuff does interfere with our reaction to the story itself. I definitely fallen for that fault of allowing the behind the scenes stuff kind of cloud what was actually being told. I still believe there was a flip script, but we're not going to get into that. I'm just glad that he said it because it needed to be said. Because at the end of the day, this is a widowed woman who went through a excruciating pain of losing her husband. Not even, I mean, not even long after burying him, she finds out she's carrying his son. And then you go through that type of grief where it's like you're constantly being reminded that he's not going to be there. That he's never going to know, as far as her brain can tell, as far as she can tell, he's never going to lay eyes on him. He's never going to hold him, never going to love him, never going to be able to hold him and talk to him and teach him things that a dad would teach his son.
Right.
That is a whole entire different grief than grieving as a wife for your late husband. So I can't fault her for falling in love with Lucas and not falling in love with Nathan. Whether that be because of the pain of losing Jack or just not loving Nathan like she should love Nathan. I'm like Jack. I'm just glad that she's moving on and that it's not, and that she's happy. So
I think the one, I mentioned this to you before we started recording, one of my favorite little moments between Jack and Abigail. First of all, when he said, "I've missed you." Because I am going to start crying here, y'all. Like, legit, I have back here.
They were like my favorite friendship.
I know they almost had she was almost like a mother figure to him.
Yes, and I loved it because I even kind of loved their relationship and their friendship more than I loved her friendship and relationship with Elizabeth, and that one was huge too.
Yeah.
So to hear him say that and so nonchalantly come out of that Mountie's office and then not give her the incentive that he was not Gabe.
Right.
Then slowly turns, walks towards her, and obviously this light shines on his face, and she's just stunned, obviously. And just that smile he gives her, that little side smile that he would always give.
And when she was like, "I don't understand," and he was like, "I don't really either." Basically, he's like, "I don't know how I'm being able to do this right now. I don't know how I'm here, but I'm really glad I am. While I'm here, here's what I want to say." But when he's commenting about the town, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but he's talking about Gabe, who actually served under him in the Northwest Territories. And Lillian gets brought up, and he says, "Another Mountie in love with a good woman." And Abigail almost breaks down, in tears, but laughing. And is like, "Deer and bears all everywhere," or deer and bears all over the place, or something like that. Because that just takes you right back to season 1 of When Calls the Heart. Guys, my heart.
Oh,
my heart. Oh my
Daniel,
God.
Daniel actually put in the article, he's like, "This is truly something for the Hardys. This is truly a sincere, this is for the Hardys. This is my real true goodbye to this character, and allowing them to get a real goodbye from him, because we didn't get necessarily that kind of a goodbye from him.
Right. We didn't get a death scene where
we didn't get a death scene. We
Yes.
didn't get a, because sometimes they'll even have the character say something very sincere to the love of their life before they leave. And he didn't necessarily even do that. Whenever he left, because they left together to go on their honeymoon whenever he left to go for Clay. So we actually got a goodbye from him in this. And oh my gosh, I wanted to cry so bad, but I was like just way too happy to even just see him on my screen in the red surge.
I know. What is it with young girls and Mounties?
I loved that line. I was like, girl, you would know. You would know.
And to be clear, y'all, that was a line from Abigail to Lillian when she noticed the looks between Lillian and Gabriel. And was just kind of like, I've seen that look before.
And I love that both women have like this very special bond with children.
Yes. Yeah.
And falling in love with these other two men that have such great ability to be so engaged with children. Like Gabe coming with the football and trying to help Roy and like get the kids all together and everything. I loved that.
I loved the scene with Abigail and Gabe in the mercantile when he's trying to pick out, and she like opens the perfume. She's like, okay, let's explore our options. And she opens the perfume and she's like, you would definitely not still be her friend if you got her this.
So you would definitely not be a good friend to Lillian if you bought her that.
Yeah. How did you know it was for Lillian? Just a wild guess.
Like Gabe, trust me, she is an expert in this field.
Very much an expert in this field.
Okay, so like, and by the way, she had a very good point. I hope all men that are listening to this never buy your significant other or girlfriend or whoever you're trying to impress a household item for Christmas or birthday or whatever. Never as any kind of gift. Even from a rolling pin to a vacuum, no. Like, even if it's something that she would actually enjoy and make her life better, telling you, no.
The only exception to that might be a
like if it's just an off day, you notice that it's on sale and you know that you need it for your home, just buy it.
Yeah.
But
the only exception to that I could think would be maybe like a robot vacuum where it's actually going to make her life easier.
Yeah,
and not like you're handing her something to go do more work.
Yeah. I would not, but even then I would just go buy it and then just set it up and be like, and like let her find it and be like, when did we get this? And be like, oh, it was on sale today, so I just bought it. Don't make it a gift. Just if you think you need it for the house or if she needs it for the house, just go buy it, unbox it, put it all together, and then hide it in where you guys keep your things. Because I'm telling you, don't.
Yeah.
And I love how she picks up the scarf. She's like, yes, this will totally tell her how you are such a great friend. Is that the message you want to send her? Knowing darn well that is not the message he wants to send to her.
Not exactly.
Yeah, not exactly. He kind of gives him a knowing smile like, yeah, I know. Yeah. I've been here before. I know. Yeah.
That one clip, like y'all know, I've been on social media, so I'm going to be on social media.
But that clip has been out before.
That one clip I had seen. I think somebody
my first thought was that had we got Abigail in that season and actually get to see her meet Nathan and see everything with her own two eyes, I feel like that scene would have been a Nathan and Abigail scene. Like, because Nathan kind of brings that awkward, I don't know how to talk to girls vibe. So I feel like that would have been the perfect scene for Nathan and Abigail.
That is true. I didn't think about that, but you're right.
When I first saw that clip, I was like, oh my gosh, that would have totally been.
It would have been,
Abigail.
Yeah. 100% would have been.
So.
But when I first saw that scene, I went, oh boy, this is not going to go well. Because Abigail tells him to speak from his heart, like just basically just tell her how you feel. That's not what she said, but that's basically what she meant. And my first thought when I saw that clip was, okay, this is not going to end well, or this is not going to go well. Like I knew it would end well, but
yeah, it was not gonna. It was gonna end some either he was never actually going to be able to tell her because they tried to draw things out. It never really happens.
Yeah.
Or they were going to keep on they're going to keep on interrupting, constant interruptions, or he says the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And it blows up into a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we saw in Frozen 2. If you've never watched Frozen 2, every time Kristoff tries to propose to Anna, that she takes everything he says in the wrong direction. He is like trying to compliment her. And she's like, so that was almost what I was expecting.
Yeah.
We did kind of get the interruption, but not to the degree that I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting like every single time he tried to open his mouth, like either a kid ran up.
Yeah, or even for somebody to have come in the Mountie office.
Yeah.
This is really nice, by the way.
Yeah.
It's way nicer than the
better.
Yeah.
Like Nathan's better.
Yeah.
Nostalgic. It's got more, yeah.
The one in Hope, the one in Brookfield is nicer, but the one in Hope Valley just has that actually Mountie office feel. It doesn't have a sterile warehouse feel to it. I don't know how else to describe it.
No, I know, like it looked like that Mountie office. Like I feel like it's because Brookfield was built newer.
Yeah,
like this kind of has just been kind of built. Mm-hmm. So obviously, there's more. A lot of things are a lot newer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Maggie mentions the fire, so so it might have been burnt down and they had to build another one.
No, it was the fire of it was the Mercantile, remember? He even mentioned
yeah.
The store owner mentions the fire.
I forgot about that.
That was in season 1.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But the fact that Gabe didn't even get to finish what he was telling Lillian.
I loved it.
I did, but I didn't. Like, I'm sorry. I wanted to hear him say, I love you. Like, that was literally what I was expecting him to say because he does.
Yeah, but like the thing that was kind of kept going back and forth with him was actions speak louder than words. And he loved that saying because you saw her, like whenever she said it, he mouthed it back to her because he's heard her say it so much and he just loves that. Yeah. Because it's true. Actions do, like for me, I feel like maybe this is just me admitting that I have trust issues. I don't know, take it how you want to. But actions do speak louder than words when it comes to relationships. Because if you're going to talk all of this, like talk to try and get me and like get me to go on a date with you and get me to be with you or whatever, cool. But at the end of the day, I want to see some action. I want to see you actually putting forth an effort in other ways than just your words. Because words are cheap. Yeah. Words don't hold nothing. Actions do. So I loved it for that aspect. Yeah. I feel like, and plus, like, you know how it is with especially romance movies, like words can get very misinterpreted. Yeah. Actions can too, but words get misinterpreted way quicker than actions.
That is true. But so Gabe,
like, you can't argue with a kiss, okay? If a man just comes up to you, grabs your face and kisses you, you're gonna know what's up.
I always love when something like that happens and the other party goes, what'd you do that for? Like, what? It's like, I don't know. Why did I do that?
I probably would do that. I would probably do that. I'd probably look at him like, what'd you do that for?
What brought that up? Yeah. That is hilarious. That's what our twisted brains. But anyway, so Gabe barely gets the words out. He basically starts out by saying, I really treasure our friendship. She agrees. And you can tell, like, bless his heart, he is so concerned about messing this up. Like, he does not want to lose.
I love how you brought the Mountie aspect of it. Like, the purpose, like, one of the biggest things about my job is
defending the truth.
It's defending the truth, telling the truth, whatever it was. So he values truth very much. Yeah. So I like that.
Yeah. And then he's like, and the truth is, I have feelings for you that possibly go beyond, and he can't get another word out because Lillian
kisses him.
and goes, actions speak louder than words. And I love his response. No kidding. Like, I'm sorry, that is such a guy response, and it is so stinking adorable.
It is. It's so adorable. I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. Once again, we get a cute scene in the Mountie office.
Yes.
I love that.
I feel like When Hope Calls is going to be so much healing for the Hardys.
I feel like that's going to be kind of helps heal people. I just hope that season 9 doesn't put us through more torture to be healed.
Yeah. And can we also mention the fact that Sam thank the good Lord, that love triangle between Sam, Gabe, and Lillian is no more.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Like, no joke.
Like I said, like we titled our thing, we are triangle traumatized. Okay. Yeah. We don't want any triangle of any sorts. I don't care if it's side characters. I don't care if it's literally the people that are coming into town for like a quick minute.
At least not a major one. Like, at least not one that you seriously don't know what's going to happen. Like, if it's an outcome that you know what's going to happen, then that's fine. But,
like if it's full on clear that this person, like how it was in the beginning of When Calls the Heart, where even though we had like Billy Hamilton coming in and then we had Charles coming in, we knew that it was going to be Elizabeth.
Or it was going to be Jack. Sorry, where did Charles come in? Y'all, it is almost midnight my time. I was up till 3 a.m. this morning because we recorded the game night episode that is going to air after this one. We recorded it last night, so I was up till 3 a.m. I've been busy all day. It's almost midnight, and I have an early morning in the morning, so my brain is not operating 100% at this particular moment.
Yeah, same here.
What I was going to say about Sam in the first place was that Sam has become the new Hickam, and he is just as adorable.
He is. I wish we would have seen him a little bit more of him.
Yeah.
But he's definitely the Hickam of When Hope Calls. And I love that. I'm glad because it gave him more purpose than just being Lillian's possible interest.
Yeah.
I want to see that with Lucas. I want to see more of Lucas being a part of the town and not just being her love interest. Right. So, because obviously Nathan gets a huge amount with the town because he's the Mountie. He automatically gets way into more into the actual town than, because he's the Mountie. He kind of has to. It's kind of his job.
Yeah.
So, but the bombshell of the fact that they're possibly going to make the nurse Maggie and Sam be together. I
like it. I really do. I think they're adorable.
Oh, I love it. I think they're really adorable. But
but there's a side to me that is sad because I thought it was so sweet, the relationship, kind of budding relationship we saw between Maggie and Joe that owns the mercantile in season 1. But I feel like they handled it really well. At this point, it just seems like this feels like a new start. Like, did it not? Like, it felt like a fresh start for everybody. And I loved that feeling. It was a no baggage, fresh start for everyone. And
it's not to the point where you can't, like, it doesn't tie in with season 1, but it is enough to where it's like it doesn't, like, because things weren't like I think the only couple that was like significant in season 1 was Chuck and Grace.
Right.
They were significant. There were some moments that you could tell that they were kind of sort of putting a triangle between Lillian, Gabe, and Sam. But I'm glad that that's over. We're not getting that. We're not getting a love triangle, hopefully. But I am kind of like Kerri. I thought it was going to be Maggie and the storekeeper.
Yeah.
But who knows? We don't know who he could possibly not at all have one. He might turn into Ned and have a Florence come his way out of nowhere. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Can we also just mention how adorable he was with that allergic reaction scene?
Cinnamon. Yeah. She said, what? Cinnamon.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like his swollen face. Oh my gosh.
That was good prosthetics. I can tell you that.
Yes.
That was some good prosthetics. Like
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And the fact that, like he said, he was like, not knowing that language almost killed me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you'll survive.
As Santa, you were supposed to make the children happy, not
frighten them.
Yeah, with the hand motion.
With the hand motion. For those that don't know, the storekeeper is allergic to cinnamon. We find that out whenever he goes to visit this little street
goodie stand.
Street stand where this woman is selling baked goods. And apparently a member of the town donated this pastry. And I'm not gonna say it because it's got a French name to it. Not gonna want to butcher it, but it pretty much has cinnamon in the name, but he obviously didn't know that. And since someone donated it, the woman at the stand didn't know what was in it either, which I feel like that was like you had one job. Like, know what you're selling. Like, she even says whenever he mentions the fact that he's allergic to cinnamon the first time he stopped by, she's like, duly noted. I'm like, well, you didn't duly note it.
Well, she obviously didn't know the language either.
Now we know that if you donate pastries to a store, please tell them what's in it so people don't get killed. But ultimately, he eats the pastry. It has cinnamon in it. He notices there's a spice to it, but he's like, hopefully it's not cinnamon, but oh well. And like moves on. I'm like, you're just gonna nonchalantly just eat something. It's a little spice to it, and you're just gonna say, well, hopefully it's not cinnamon. You're allergic to something.
I love the fact that he had his scarf wrapped up around his face.
Yes, and like she was like rushing him over, like to get into the
let's not scare the children.
Like, let's not scare the children. Please protect the children.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. And the fact that he still wanted to be Santa, he's like, I can still do it. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
And it was like trying to say it and everything. It was coming out good, but like
I thought it was, I thought it would have been hilarious to see
Santa with a fat lip.
Yeah.
But I saw what they were doing.
Yeah.
So the hotel owner, what's his name?
Ronnie,
which is Tess's
brother-in-law.
Okay. He owns the hotel. One of the big things is that this reporter, this newspaper reporter, was coming in to kind of was coming in to do a article about a small town country Christmas. And he knows Maggie because of Maggie used to travel and do travel
writing
and all of that kind of stuff, and write about the place that she goes to and the events that she goes to that are all over the world.
Right.
Well, he pretty much does that job, and he knows her from obviously being a fan and them being friends or whatever. And so Ronnie is kind of obviously stressed out because he's like, I need this to be a good on me when it comes to the hotel. And he's also trying to buy this red hot rod old time car or whatever.
It's not a car, it's a speedster. No, that was something he said at the end. There's a difference.
I know, but I'm just like, so it's like all he wants to talk about is the speedster. Literally anyone that starts like walking past him, he stops and like, ooh, listen to me. Like, let me talk to you all about my speedster. Like, but
men never grow up.
No, they never grow up.
They are little boys at heart.
Like their toys go from plastic little cars to actual real cars and just go from there.
Well, they're little boys at heart that just want somebody to pay attention to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, back to what I was saying. He wants everything to obviously be perfect, and obviously, children create chaos and they don't, or whatever. So he's kind of like, the children have it. He's trying to make everything perfect for this reporter. Well, the reporter goes into his hotel room and his shelf breaks. like his drawer in his dresser literally breaks off in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And like Ronnie's been going off to him about how it's a first class hotel where got all of the bells and whistles, we're good, high service, blah blah blah. So he goes to one of the town members he saw had a sign up that said they were selling household items because they were trying to buy their son a piano because he has piano lessons he's really good at, blah blah blah. So he buys the dresser, brings it back over there, all that kind of stuff. Well, while he was on his way back to the hotel, his buggy breaks with all the stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he comes upon a bunch of reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the kids are also walking back to town. They see that he's standing there with his wagon full of stuff.
And he has grown a beard.
And he's grown a beard. So he's got a big white beard. Mm-hmm. And he's got a buggy full of stuff. And there's reindeer in front of him. The exact number of reindeer that Santa has.
Mm-hmm.
There's Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, all of them. Except for Rudolph. I hate that they always leave out Rudolph. He's the specialist reindeer of all. Oh. Anyways. So the kids now have it in their heads that he's Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how else do you explain the fact that he's got a white beard, he's got a buggy full of stuff, and reindeer in front of him? I mean, if I was a kid, I would think he was too.
Yeah.
So they had this big thing where they want all these items and everything like that, and they don't think they're going to get it because they're in an orphanage and, blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to go up to him one by one out of the blue and kind of like tell him, like, this is what I want for Christmas. And he's completely confused because he has no idea that they saw them. So he has no clue what's going on.
Right.
And then he finds letters on his desk at the hotel and just all this kind of crazy stuff. Well, since the storekeeper got sick, Maggie needed a Santa. Mm-hmm. Nobody was available. So the storekeeper became Santa.
Or not the storekeeper, the hotel manager.
Yeah, the hotel
owner. Yeah,
really. Yeah. Right.
But he is blown away. Like, he is griping about becoming Santa because he's like, this time of year, he's like, Christmas and kids do not go together. And I love the look on Maggie's face, kind of like,
really?
Like, isn't that kind of what makes Christmas Christmas?
Like, did you hear the words that came out of your mouth?
Yeah, I love the look on her face when he says that. But he was like, they just all turned into a bunch of greedy little, whatever, just wanting all this
monsters.
Yeah, just wanting all this stuff for themselves and whatever. So he's like, all right, let's keep this moving. Let's make this quick, like get it over with, whatever.
Yeah, because then they'll just keep rattling off gifts that they want, and I don't want to spend all day doing that.
Yeah, and he is blown away by the fact that each one of the orphans changes their wish from what they had written in their letters that they left on his desk to a pony for Roy. And he is like, he gets up, walks in the hotel, and Lillian goes after him, is like, are you okay? And he was like, these kids have lost more than anybody. Like, these kids have gone through more than anyone has. He's like, I spent the entire day listening to a bunch of children around town tell me what they want for Christmas. And he was like, then your kids, who of all the kids in town should want things, should need things, give up their own wishes for someone else. Like, he was just completely blown away by that. And of course, his heart is melted, and he gives up his car and takes the letters that the children had left him, thinking he was Santa, and makes all their Christmas wishes come true, down to the pony for Roy, which was so sweet. But
so, he's definitely the Scrooge of the episode, and he finds the real meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And then of course the ending with Tess getting the
telegram from Chuck.
Yes, with him calling her Mama Bear. That was so sweet.
I loved that.
I think, okay, was I the only one that noticed? Because Gabriel and Lillian had each gotten a gift for the other. First of all, why did Gabriel give her like this big old tin box?
I know, right?
That had this tiny little box inside of it that had an even smaller necklace inside of it.
I didn't understand it either.
No sense whatsoever.
Unless he was just trying to like make her open a bunch of presents. You know, that's the kind of the new thing.
Oh, my brother did that one year, except by the time I finally got down to the actual box, it was like a ring box type size box that he had stuck a note.
Shut up! Sorry.
She's talking to her animals right now, not me, by the way.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
I can mute you, you know.
I'm just joking. For our listeners on Spotify and Anchor. What the crap, Lily? This has just gone wrong. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Oh my gosh.
I have 2 big boxers and a cat. Okay, so they're like, one of the boxers is not even mine. They're my brother's. She's never been around my cats. So that was what that whole thing was.
Oh, lovely. Oh my word. Anyway.
That's what we needed in the middle of the episode. Sorry.
Yeah. But was I the only one that noticed the picture? Like, Gabe had gotten Lillian a necklace, which was really sweet. But then the picture, and Morgan's doing her hands. I know she knows what I'm talking about. Team Kinslow.
I loved it. I loved it.
I did too, but it actually kind of cracked me up because the whole thing with the past 3 seasons of When Calls the Heart was Team Lucas, Team Nathan, and then they put Team Kinslow on that, and I'm like, oh no. Like, I was laughing, but I was like, seriously?
I feel like that was like Bill Abbott's jab at the new CEO of that whole thing. I feel like that was like Bill Abbott kind of like poking at When Calls the Heart.
But the smile on Gabe's face when he
oh my god,
picture on his desk and just sits back, like he is beaming, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, it was so sweet.
I loved it so much.
Yes. But anyway, no, it was.
Tess also. I love that Tess gave them Chuck's old bike. I thought that was so sweet. I love that whenever they all ran and hugged her, she's like, "Okay, that's enough of that."
Yeah, she is actually a super soft-hearted person, and you can tell it. She like puts on this rough exterior, but
that is so much like Gowan.
Mm-hmm.
So much like Gowan, because that's kind of how he was. Like he was very rough, but like the kids were kind of what kind of slowed him, and like Abigail and Elizabeth and the kids, they all kind of like whittled him down.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
Yeah. Yep.
So we got another Gowan to see soften up and find love.
Not the only one that somewhat wonders if they're going to end up putting her and Ronnie together just because they're so mismatched. I'm like, it's her brother-in-law, but they would be like such a mismatched.
I was thinking that either with Ronnie or the storekeeper.
I guess
I know they didn't have any interactions with this, but if I remember, they had a few interactions in season 1 that kind of made me raise an eyebrow.
I can't wait to go back and rewatch these.
I know. I can't wait to go back and watch season 1 of When Calls the Heart. Like this, watching this makes me want to go back to like the first 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
and then we can stop there. Not really, y'all. I'm joking. Kind of, sort of, a little bit. The only reason I say I'm joking is because I love Nathan so much, and I don't want to miss watching.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm pretty much watching this next season only for pretty much everybody except for Lucas and Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to see what they do with them outside of their relationship.
Yeah. But
as far as their relationship, I can care less.
Yeah.
Sorry, just honest truth about good entertainment.
Well, and I want them to convince me.
Yeah. I want,
because I mean, I didn't hate the ending. I thought it was sweet.
I
of
feel like
season
if
8.
it wasn't for the fact that, like we said, it was definitely a flipped script. Had they had Lucas be the one that they were going to pick all along, I feel like it would have been a great story.
Well, and even with the flipped script, if they had not brought Jack into it, I wouldn't have gotten as mad. But
yeah, I feel like I would not have gotten as mad that if she didn't compare Nathan to Jack.
I would have been more like, well, I didn't see that coming. But
I find that so funny. I'm just gonna make this note and I'm not gonna say anything else. Team Lucas loves to make videos of comparing Lucas and Jack and like comparing all the things that they did the same. But the fact that Nathan reminded Elizabeth too much of Jack, that was the reason why she couldn't love him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Anyway.
But anyways, we hope you guys loved this episode and that you guys loved this 2-part premiere of the new season of When Hope Calls.
Definitely. I'm so looking forward to season 2.
I cannot.
I'm looking forward to When Hope Calls way more than I am When Calls the Heart.
Oh, 100%, no doubt.
Just putting that out there.
Like, keep doing what you're doing. Please, like, draw things from the earlier When Calls the Heart before Jack died. Keep drawing stuff from there and, like, keep that. Like, oh, I loved it.
A huge shout out and thank you to Brian Bird, Michael Landon Jr., and Bill Abbott, thank you. I almost said the wrong name. I knew it started with a B and I almost said Brad. I think I almost said Brad Kevroy because it's Brad Kevroy Productions. Yeah. So that's the name that was in my head. But Bill Abbott, a huge shout out and thank you to these guys for making this happen and for giving us that closure with Daniel that I don't. And
thank you, Laurie, for calling him.
Yes.
For, trying to help make it happen because,
yes.
And thank you. I'm so glad that they hired her to come back and like brought this safe place for her to come back to.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I just love GAC for that alone.
Yes.
And buying this season because I had to say like season 1 of When Hope Calls was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like season 2 is going to be just as good.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good, y'all. Good things are coming. Oh man.
There's always a rainbow after the storm, and it looks like When Hope Calls is the rainbow to the When Calls the Heart storm. So it's pretty fitting. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode with us, and we hope that you guys continue to watch along with us and continue to enjoy it and support the cast. Let them know just how much you loved it, and send them all lots of love. Send Laurie all the love and Daniel all the love. We hate that we're not going to get Jack anymore, but we love that he gave us such a sweet goodbye and made it so personal. And we can't wait to see more of him because he has now a movie out on GAC called A Christmas Star. So hopefully we'll see him in other things.
I hope so. We've definitely missed Daniel.
Definitely. All right, guys, we love y'all. And we hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, y'all. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.